Good morning, everyone. So, we were discussing The Portrait of a Lady by Kushwant Singh. I hope you remember the story, is it? So, we have seen that the writer and grandmother was having a bond between them. They were in the village, both of them were in the village. The grandmother was taking care of the writer as the writer's parents were in the city, is it? And they were going to the school. Both of them went to the school together, and they used to feed the dogs while coming back from the school. So their relation there, it was a great bond, but there was a drastic change when they moved to the city. When the writer's parents were well settled, grandmother and the writer was taken to the city. So when they reached there was a great change. What happened? So we'll see. When my parents were comfortably settled in the city, they sent for us. That was a turning point in our friendship. Although we shared the same room, my grandmother no longer came to school with me. I used to go to an English school in a motor bus. There were no dogs in the street, and she took to feeding sparrows in the courtyard of our city house. As the years rolled by, we saw less of each other. For some time, she continued to wake me up and get me ready for school. When I came back, she would ask me what the teacher had taught me. So we have seen they were taken to the city, and that relationship was not there, that bond was not there, because even though they shared the same room, the grandmother was not taking the boy to the school because he was in an English school and he was going in the school bus. So that spending time together was reduced. And also that that relationship was lacking because as years passed, they saw less. First, during the first half, she used to wake him up and make him ready for school. And so when he came back from school, she used to ask what the teacher taught. I would tell her English words and little things of Western science and learning. The law of gravity, Archimedes' principle, the world being round, etc. This made her unhappy. She could not help me with my lessons. She did not believe in the things they taught at the English school and was distressed that there was no teaching about God and the scriptures. One day I announced that we were being given music lesson. She was very disturbed. To her, music had lived association. It was the monopoly of harlots and beggars and not meant for gentlefolk. She said nothing, but her silence meant disapproval. She rarely talked to me after that. So during the early days, the grandmother used to wake the wake him up and make him ready for school. And when he came back from school, she used to ask what the teacher taught. And he used to tell that he was learning English and he was learning about science, the law of gravity, Archimedes' principle, and the world being round, all those things. So these things was not making grandmother happy. She could not help him in learning, She was not able to teach the writer, and the new learning was not acceptable for her. She wanted some moral learning, that is about gods and scriptures, about holy books, all those things. But in this school, those things were not there. And so, and once when the writer told that they were being taught music lesson, she was very disturbed because she believed that music are meant for uh, are only handled by harlots and beggars. Harlots means prostitutes, and it is not meant for gentle people. And it is meant for people like beggars and harlots, and it doesn't have any morals. So when she knew that, she didn't tell anything, but her silence meant disagreement. After that, after that incident, uh, she hardly talked with the writer. When I went up to university, I was given a room of my own. The common link of friendship was snapped. My grandmother accepted her seclusion with resignation. She rarely left her spinning wheel to talk to anyone. From sunrise to sunset, she sat by her wheel, spinning and reciting prayers. Only in the afternoon, she relaxed for a while to feed the sparrows. While she sat in the veranda breaking the breads into little bits, hundreds of little birds collected around her, creating a veritable bedlam of chirpings. Some came and perched on her legs, others on her shoulders, some even sat on her head. She smiled but never shooed them away. It used to be the happiest half hour of the day for her. So after that, when he was grown up and when he went to university for higher, when he was in the college, so he was given a separate room. Before that, he was living with his grandmother. So when he was grown up, he was given a separate room, and that friendship was also, so that again they were separated more. That so that common link of friendship was snapped means broken. My grandmother accepted her seclusion with resignation, so she accepted she accepted her loneliness without any telling anything. She was okay with her loneliness. She rarely left her spinning wheel to talk to anyone. So she sat in her room spinning and reciting prayers. And only in the afternoon she used to relax by feeding the sparrows. Other time out she will be in her room with the spinning wheel and her prayers with the rosary beads. So that was how she made accustomed to her loneliness. Only in the afternoon she relaxed for a while to feed the sparrows. So the afternoon time only she used to feed the sparrows. All other time she used to do the spinning and reciting prayers. While she sat in the veranda breaking the breads into little bits, hundreds of little birds collected around her, creating a veritable bedlam of chirping. So during afternoon time when she sits in the veranda and break the bread pieces, many sparrows will be making sounds. They will be uh, surrounded by her making sounds. Some came and perched on her leg, others on her shoulders, and even on her head. So some of them sat on her legs, others on her shoulders, and some of them sat on her head. but she never draw them away. She never shooed them away. She just smiled and she never drove them away. So that was the most happiest half hour in her life. So that time she's spending with the sparrow was a happiest moment of her life. When I decided to go abroad for further studies, I was sure my grandmother would be upset. I would be away for 5 years, and at her age, one could never tell. But my grandmother could. She was not even sentimental. She came to leave me at the railway station, but did not talk or show any emotion. Her lips moved in prayer, her mind was lost in prayer. Her fingers were busy telling the beads of a rosary. Silently, she kissed my forehead, and when I left, I cherished the most imprint as perhaps the last sign of physical contact between us. So, after his studies, he went for further studies abroad. He decided to go abroad for further studies. So, he was certain that his grandmother would be worried because he was going for 5 long years. And the lady is very old. So 5 long years means you cannot predict anything. But grandmother, she was not emotional. She was not having any feelings. She was as it was. She came to the railway station. She did not talk or show any emotion. She came to the railway station with him and telling her prayers. She gave a kiss on his forehead. On his forehead. And when I left, I cherished the most imprint as perhaps the last sign of physical contact between us. So the writer is telling he felt like that was the uh, last sign of physical contact between us. The moist imprint, the wet impression, or the wet sign. So that was treasured as the last sign of physical contact between us because they were moving, they were going away from each other. But that was not so. After 5 years, I came back home and was met by her at the station. She did not look a day older. She still had no time for words, and while she clasped me in her arms, I could hear her reciting her prayers. But there was no change because after 5 years, when he came back, grandmother was there. She came to the station and she did not look older. It was the same grandmother whom he saw 5 years back. She still had no time for words, and so she didn't talk. When she saw him, also she didn't talk. She held him tightly in her arms, and the writer could hear the prayers. Even on the first day of my arrival, her happiest moments were with her sparrows, whom she fed longer and with frivolous rebuffs. So after his arrival, when he arrived, also there was no change. Uh, the she was spending her usual time with the sparrows, and she fed them a little bit longer than she used to. With the and she used to scold them because not serious, like she used to give slight scoldings to the sparrows. In the evening, a change came over her. She did not pray. She collected the women of the neighborhood, bought an old drum, and started to sing. So by the evening, there was a change. The writer has seen grandmother always pray. The writer has not seen her without praying. So, by the evening, there was a change. She was not praying. She gathered up the women of the neighborhood. The nearby women, she gathered them and got an old drum and she was singing. For several hours, she thumped the sagging skin of the dilapidated drum and sang of the homecoming of warriors. So by she was for several hours she was beating the drums. Huh? She was beating an old drum and sang of the homecoming of warriors. And she was singing about the uh, fighters coming home after the fight. The success stories she was going on singing home. We had to persuade her to stop to avoid overstraining. That was the first time since I had known her that she did not pray. So they had to persuade her to stop singing because it was overstraining for a long time singing and beating the drum. And the writer is telling that was the first time. Ever since the writer has seen grandmother, she has been going on praying, but this was the first time she did not pray. The next morning, she was taken ill. It was a mild fever, and the doctor told us that it would go. So the next day, she became ill. She was not well. She had light fever, and the doctor told that she would recover. It would go soon. But my grandmother thought differently. She told us that her end was near. She said that since only a few hours before the close of the last chapter of her life, she had omitted to pray, she was not going to waste any more time talking to us. So the doctor told that it's a minor fever and it would go soon. But grandmother thought differently. The grandmother told that she told us that I'm going to die. My end is near, and she said that there is only a few hours left, and I have not prayed because from the afternoon in the evening onwards I was not praying, is it? So I don't want to waste any more time. So, and I'm going to tell my prayers, and I don't want to waste my time talking to you people. We protested, but she ignored our protest. But uh, they opposed, but she didn't take care of them. She ignored their protests. She lay peacefully in bed, praying and telling her beads. So she lay there in the bed peacefully, praying and telling her beads. So this is rosary, used for praying. Rosary. This is rosary. Rosary bead. Even before we could suspect, her lips stopped moving and the rosary fell from her lifeless fingers. A peaceful pallor spread on her face, and we knew that she was dead. So even before they could doubt, her lips it stopped moving and the rosary fell from her hand. So it means that grandmother died. A peaceful pallor spread on her face, and we knew that she was dead. So there was a peaceful, her face was very peaceful and fading color. It was having a pale color, and that we understood that she died. We lifted her off the bed and, as is customary, laid her on the ground and covered her with a red shroud. After a few hours of mourning, morning, we left her alone to make arrangements for her funeral. So, as the custom, she was taken out from the bed and she was laid on the ground covered with a red cloth. And after a few hours of uh, mourning, they started to make arrangements for the funeral. In the evening, we went to her room with a crude stretcher to take her to be cremated. So, after making arrangements in the evening, they came with a stretcher. Crude stretcher means a simple stretcher to take her to be cremated for the funeral, for burning her. The sun was setting and had lit her room and veranda with a blaze of golden light. So it was evening time, the sun was setting, and the veranda was having the light of the sun, setting sun. So there was a glow of golden light. We stopped halfway in the courtyard, all over the veranda and in her room, right up to where she lay dead and stiff, wrapped in the red shroud. Thousands of sparrows sat scattered on the floor. So, when they were coming halfway of the courtyard, they stopped because all over the veranda, till her room, till where she lay, there were sparrows scattered here and there. Sparrows were there. There was no chirpings, so there was no sound. They were scattered, standing there without any sounds. We felt sorry. We felt sorry for the birds, and my mother fetched some bread for them. She broke it into little crumbs, the way my grandmother used to, and threw it to them. The sparrow took no notice of the bread. When we carried my grandmother's corpse off, they flew away quietly. Next morning, the sweeper swept the breadcrumbs into the dustbin. So they felt sorry for the birds. So the writer's mother went and got some bread and she broke it into pieces and she threw it to them. But the sparrow, they didn't look at it. They were not looking at the bread or they didn't even take a piece of bread. They stayed where they were without making a sound. When we carried my grandmother's corpse off, they flew away quietly. So when the grandmother's dead body was taken to be cremated, the sparrow also flew away quietly. The next morning, the sweeper swept the breadcrumbs into the dustbin. So the next morning also, the breadcrumbs were there, the bread pieces were there, and the sweeper swept it and threw it into the dustbin. So here we come to the end of the story, a portrait of a lady. So the story here, it depicts the relationship of the narrator and the grandmother and the changes which happens in their life. When they were in the village, they were very close. They were very spending lot of time together. But when they moved to the city, there was drastic change in their life. Their friendship was becoming weaker and weaker. Even though they were in the same room, they had nothing to talk about because grandmother was not able to help him in his studies because he was going to a English school and he was studying science and other subjects. He was not learning any things related to God or holy books. So grandmother had no role there. And when he became bigger, he was given, when he was in college, he was given a different room and there also that relationship became weak. So she was lonely and she accepted her loneliness by spinning and telling her prayers. She never complained. She was accustomed to her fate. Like that, she was doing and spending her afternoons feeding the sparrows. That was the happiest moment in her life. The sparrow used to sit on her shoulders, head, legs, everywhere, but she never drove them away. And after his college, he decided to go abroad for further studies. So it was for 5 years, and there was no he thought that grandmother would be sad and worried, but she did not have any emotions. She came to the station and she didn't even tell a word. She was going on telling her prayers and she kissed him. So after 5 years also, he came to the she received him at the station. There was no change. Grandmother was the same. She was not older than that. So after that, there was another change. The day when the writer came, after that, in the afternoon, in the evening, she did not pray. She gathered the women in the neighborhood and she took an old drum and started to sing about the stories of the warriors coming home. And she was going on doing, beating the drum and singing that. They told her to stop, but she didn't stop. So the next day, what happened? She fell ill. The doctor told she would recover, but she was sure that it was her last day. It was her last hours, and she was lying peacefully, and she was telling her prayers. She had neglected her prayers, so she told that I'm not ready to talk with you. I will spend my time praying. So in the afternoon, the next day, in the afternoon, she passed. She died. So she was laid on the ground as a custom, and while making arrangement for the funerals, while they went for making arrangements for the funeral and came back with the stretcher, they saw that there were thousands of sparrows scattered on the floor. But there was a change. Always when the sparrows came, they would be making sounds. But that day, there was no sound. They were sitting silently as if mourning the death of grandmother. Even though the writer's mother threw breadcrumbs to the sparrows didn't take them. So when the grandmother was taken away to be cremated, the sparrows also flew quietly. So that is the story, the portrait of a lady by Khushwant Singh. Hope you have understood. So that's all for today. The next class will be discussing the question answers. Okay, thank you.